France, in the year 1783, a new vehicle was born to the world, the balloon. It would be difficult to imagine a more charming and decorative addition to man's means of locomotion. From man's first attempt to fly across the English Channel to the polyethylene giants of today, who can lift their loads of robot scientific equipment to more than 20 miles above the Earth. Balloons, with their different shapes and colors, are for many people charming and entertaining, and for others an exciting and daring adventure, with a share of fatalities too. Madame Sophie Blanchard, famous and romantic woman aeronaut, loved the tranquility of night flying. She ascended over Paris on a warm summer's evening in July 1819 to give an aerial fireworks display in a balloon such as this. And a few moments later, her balloon caught fire and she plunged to the ground to her death. More than 145 years later, a strange irony involving another remarkable woman and her balloon takes place in the first Catalina Channel balloon race. Here is that story. In contrast to floating balloon, a jetliner with balloonist Don Picard and Ed Yost aboard arrives at Los Angeles International Airport, where Jack Whitaker of CBS and Richard Higbee, president of the California Balloon Club, greet them.
Ed, you've had a little experience now in crossing channels. What kind of a race do you think we'll have across the Santa Catalina Channel?
I think it'll be a very enjoyable race, and we're certainly looking forward to it.
Well, we're looking forward to it, too, and we want to wish you both the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
The island of Santa Catalina is a sporting paradise. It is a popular center for yachting, golfing, swimming, hunting, and skin diving. Top sportsmen and balloonists from all parts of the country have looked forward to this sports spectacular, the first time an event of this kind has taken place. On the island, race entrants, including the only woman, Barbara Keith of Hartford, Connecticut, check in at headquarters. Because of the island's location, 22 miles off the mainland, and the prevailing westerly winds, the California Balloon Club decided to hold the race here on January 11th and received official sanction from the National Aeronautic Association, USA, and the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale. That fascination for balloons that children from all over the world have enjoyed is keeping the balloon man busy indeed. At the starting area, a young balloon fan watches Mark Semich check strength and direction of air currents.
Keep that line tight. Watch it there.
In pre-race interviews, CBS sports commentator Jack Whitaker talks with Don Picard.
Don, I wonder if you'd explain a little bit about the principle of modern hot air ballooning.
Well, of course, everybody remembers the old days when they used to dig a trench and build a fire, and the smoke would come up, and the guy'd take off, and a minute later, he'd be down the parachute. We work with propane. We have a clean fire. We want to go up, we turn the fire up. We want to go down, we turn the fire down. The idea is that hot air is lighter than the air around us.
The tedious preparation continues as the various equipment is readied for each contestant. Hot air blowers bring these strange racing vehicles to life, and Ed Yost's all-white balloon is among the first to be inflated. Barbara Keith starts the compressor that feeds air to her balloon. Flying with actor Cliff Robertson, and reminiscent of the early French balloonist, is Frank Tallman, dressed in the formal clothes of that period.
I was amazed the first time I flew a balloon how skillful it really is. Everybody thinks, of course, that it just drifts with the wind. It's the very finest balance of weight and heat, which these are, as you know, hot air balloons. It's a very fine balance. You have to almost think ahead. It be far beyond most of the things I know in flying.
Famous yachtsman and sailing master of the racing boat Ticonderoga, Dan Elliott Jr., brought his entire crew for this special event.
Who's your little friend on your shoulder there?
Oh, this is our mascot, Ben Huey. He's our honorary Commodore. Ben's been with us for a couple of years now, and Here, Ben, say a few words to the crowd.
Yeah, come on, Ben. How about it? Is he going up with you?
Yes, he's going to go with us in the race.
Dan, is it hard to learn how to pilot a balloon?
I don't believe so, Jack. I'm not sure I know how to pilot one, but I've had 15 minutes experience, and I believe anybody can do it. It's a matter of having experience and being able to anticipate what the balloon's going to do, because you can't heat it up in a minute.
Well, we're going to see how well you learned your lessons in just a few moments as you start this race. Lots of luck, Dan.
Thank you very much, Jack.
There is only one all-white balloon in the field, and it made an historic flight in April 1963 when it crossed the English Channel, co-piloted by Ed Yost and Don Picard. For this event, Picard is flying another balloon.
This is Ed Yost of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, who's had an awful lot to do with the development of the modern hot air balloon. And since it's pretty much your baby, Ed, how about giving us a little high school demonstration?
Well, I can show you how this machine operates I have here today. This is a standard two-man, 50-foot diameter balloon, which has a volume of 60,000 cubic feet. And I have a 6-hour fuel range. I have 60 gallons of propane, 30 in each tank. And I bring liquid propane up through the tube to the burner. Very simple. I have just a pressure regulator here, which we adjust pressure to the burner. And I have two controls, one very fine needle valve and one quick valve, which opens the burner wide open, and a pilot light on top, so you can turn the burner off and relight it. You want me to turn the burner on for you?
Yes, let's see.
It's quite noisy. Okay, I'll start with the vernier control valve. Now that's a fine adjustment, and you set that for level flight so you can fly level. And if you want to go up, you open that valve a little bit. If you want to come down, you turn that valve down just a little bit. Then if you want to climb fast or something like that, or on a landing, if you see an obstruction you want to climb over, we have a quick valve which opens our burner wide open, and I'll kick that on now. See, that puts out a lot of heat, and it's quite noisy.
That'll pick you right up.
Right, and on the outside of the balloon now, I don't know if we should show this, I have another valve here which lets air out of the balloon envelope so you can start down and control your descent. What I mean is make a rapid descent from, if you're flying level, you can start down right away. Pardon?
Go ahead, no, excuse me.
Okay, and over here I have a strap which it feels different. We use a strap instead of a round cord, because when you land and touch the ground, you pull this about 20 feet. You have to keep working it like this, and you pull the whole top panel out of the balloon, and this lets all the air out so the balloon lays down on the ground and you don't drag all over. It just takes a matter of about 45 seconds and the balloon is deflated.
How much skill would you say was involved in ballooning?
Oh, it's very easy to learn. We can teach a person to fly in 2 or 3 hours, that's all. And basically, they can fly under calm conditions in open terrain with that much instruction. And then they get experience in maybe 5 or 10 flights. They really get very proficient, and they're very skilled about that time.
Ed, is this the same balloon that you crossed the English Channel in?
Yes, April 13th of last year, 1963, Don Picard and I took this balloon. The same tanks. In fact, you can see our takeoff time in England and our landing time in France. It took us 3 hours and 17 minutes. That was the first crossing of the English Channel by hot air balloon.
Well, we certainly wish you a lot of luck in crossing the Catalina Channel here in California.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ed.
Thank you.
A reflection of warmth and serenity prevails as each balloon is inflated. The temper flares. Not really. Hollywood's representative in the Channel race, Cliff Robertson, is discussing the thrills of ballooning with Jack Whittaker.
Jack, I think ballooning is something everybody kind of has always wanted to do, and when I recently heard about the resurgence in interest in ballooning out here, I thought, well, maybe I'd look into it. And thanks to Don Picard and a few very understanding officials around, we were able to check out the balloon and get our license and take a little spin in it.
You find a new thrill and great enjoyment in it?
Indeed. There's nothing quite like it, Jack.
Not even flying?
No. Nothing in the world like it, except maybe a dream.
Here's the only grandmother in our race, Barbara Keith, and just about ready to ascend. How do you feel, Barbara?
Oh, good. Lucky.
Have you had much experience on going across water?
Oh, no, not any large bodies, just over reservoirs and rivers and so forth.
Is there any difference in your strategy or the way you work the balloon because you're over water?
Well, I don't think it will take quite as much gas over the water because it's cool. It's only a matter of heating the air so many degrees hotter on the inside than the outside.
Do you have anything before you go up to say to the women of America about ballooning?
Well, I think it's great. I think everybody should do it.
I notice we know that you're a member of Parachute Club, too. Of the two, which do you prefer?
Well, I like the ballooning for nice, quiet entertainment, but I guess parachuting's a little bit more exciting.
Either way, it's a good chance to get away from the children.
That's right.
Well, I see you're about ready to ascend, Barbara, and we want to wish you all the best of luck at this race, and we'll be waiting landside for you.
Thank you.
With the balloonists and the spectators anxious for the takeoff, a sudden shift in the winds forced the race officials to postpone the event for the following Saturday, January 18th. Wait, one balloon is away. Ah, such is the fate of those involved with the wandering wind. Overcast marks the new race day. The damp weather and uncertain wind conditions produce a more serious atmosphere than existed a week ago. Cliff keeps an anxious eye on his wind velocity meter. One by one, the great colorful bags are inflated, and the latest weather report indicates that the race will take place as Higbee discusses the racing conditions.
What is the difference between, let's say, the English Channel and this channel crossing? Will this be more difficult?
This channel crossing may be more difficult if the wind continues to move to the north. If it stays from the southwest, it'll be less distance.
What kind of race do you think you'll have with today's winds? Any way of telling?
Well, the ground winds are favorable, but the winds aloft are unfavorable. So it'll be a fairly slow race, since we can't take advantage of any of the faster-moving winds at higher altitudes.
Well, we'd like to thank you very much and to wish you Godspeed.
Thank you.
The balloons of Californians, Semich and Crawford, have yet to be inflated. But the judges have given an official go-ahead, and the Robertson-Tolman craft with their burner in full blast makes the first ascent. And after a week's delay, the race is finally on. Second off the ground is most publicized competitor, Barbara Keith, balloonist, parachute enthusiast, and grandmother. The onion-shaped balloon is slow in ascending, but it gains altitude in pursuit of the Robertson-Tolman balloon. Yost moves to a position where he feels the air currents are most favorable. Yost and Picard are experienced men in this sport, since they developed the modern hot air balloon at the request of the U.S. Navy. But despite the precautions taken and the evident assurance of the pilots, there has to be some concern about the elements and the balloonist's ability to stay safely aloft. Robertson and Tolman approach the bay where 8 official patrol boats, each assigned to a different balloon, are waiting to cross the channel. Yost is now airborne. Barbara approaches the bay. Higbee is up. The Yost craft, now moving very fast, follows the 2 leaders. And Elliott is the 5th balloonist to ascend. The Picard balloon slowly leaves the ground. Picard is a son and nephew of the historic Picard brothers, and is famous in his own right as holder of many world altitude records. The NAA stated that the balloonists will be racing the clock, and the entry to reach the mainland in the shortest time shall be the winner. However, the rapid order of takeoff is generating a competitive atmosphere. Now well over the bay, Movieland, Barbara, and Yost. Higbee, who founded the California Balloon Club in 1962, moves swiftly. Dan Elliott's balloon climbs higher. Don Picard, with a good start, heads for the bay. Crawford is finally airborne, but Semich is still on the ground. Robertson and Tolman continue to lead. Barbara Keith and Ed Yost closely follow. Picard is having trouble getting the altitude he needs to clear the shoreline cliffs. Crawford is in difficulty. A crosswind is spinning him south. Picard seems down, but his pressure blower is on full. The craft responds, but he drifts steadily into the side of the hill. His chair cleared the ground, but the giant nylon bag is ripped and is spilling out precious air. With this damage, he can't last much longer. And Crawford, too, is now very much in trouble. The guard floats over the hill, but he's definitely going down. Semich is finally in the air. Picard comes to a precarious landing on the edge of a steep cliff. He appears to be all right, but he narrowly missed a 1,000-foot fall to the beach. He sets off a smoke signal to make his location known. Crawford is down. Robertson and Tallman are well over the channel. Barbara Keefe's balloon, the only one in the race with an American flag draped on the side, moves southeast. And a report that Simich barely cleared the hills is down in the bay. Tallman and Robertson are still in front. Higbee, going directly east, moves rapidly into second position. Ed Yost, now at a lower altitude, is third. Elliott is going for altitude and stronger winds. Barbara, too, is going higher, but now follows Elliott in the race order. Yost, floating directly east, again climbs higher. Elliott is now losing altitude as he moves farther south. Barbara Keefe's balloon is getting the faster high winds around 1,000 feet, but they are pushing her south rather than east. And while she has found a good air current, she is now separated by miles from the other balloons and is being swept almost perpendicular to the intended line of flight. Her speed is making it difficult for a patrol boat to keep up as she has been disappearing toward a cloud cover. Ed Yost's constant altitude adjustments are paying off, but other balloonists are not faring so well. Dan Elliott is losing altitude and patrol craft in the area are alerted. Higbee, now ahead of Robertson Tallman, is not far from the mainland, but his patrol craft reports he is short of fuel. The Robertson Tallman team is now second, but the report is that they're in trouble, 1.5 miles from land. They're in the sea, and Higbee is down too, but they're all safe. The white balloon inherits the lead. The only other contestant in the race at this stage is Barbara Keefe. And patrol boat radio reports she's been out of sight in the cloud cover for some time now. In the absence of definite word from her patrol boat or the mainland, it appears that Yost, if he can finish the race, is the sure winner. San Clemente Beach, 2 hours and 40 minutes after takeoff, Ed Yost of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, is declared the winner. The first time in history, a hot air balloon has crossed the Catalina Channel.
Right now, I look on this with mixed emotions. I'm real happy to get to shore and be the first one on shore, but I'm very apprehensive about our contender, Barbara Keefe, until we find out what has happened to her.
A massive sea and air search, one of the largest ever conducted for an individual, continues for 2 days. Hundreds of Navy, Coast Guard, private planes, and boats comb the area. The worst fears are finally confirmed on Monday, when the ballooning paraphernalia and the body are found.
For a quiet enjoyment, I love the balloon.
Because of your competitive spirit and your love for life and sport, Barbara Keefe, truly a remarkable woman, we will remember you.